What's up, everybody? Wow. How you guys doing today? Man, you know what? I'm just noticing something. Let me lift my chair up, man. I'm looking a little short, man. Lita's not that much. But anyway, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phil Williams Show. Man. My girl, Lita Whitener. Man, I've been looking forward to this ever since we said we're going to do it. Hey, what's going on, Becky? Becky Morris, how you feeling, Becky? See, Becky, she's chiming in right
Hi,
here.
Becky.
Cool. What's going on, everybody? Please come on in.
Chame, I see Chame. You see him?
Yeah, Chame. What's up, Chame? Yeah, he's got the cool little writing on there. So I've been trying to brush up on my Jewish reading, man, but you know it's all good. What's going on, guys? Hey, we're gonna have, who we got here? We got John Newborn. What's going on, John?
Julia Newborn.
Julia.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm reading far away now, and if I put my glasses on, I can't see. So.
And there's a glare.
Yeah, so she can read better than me. She's a mom. She's got eagle eyes. She sees everything. Trust me.
Hey, Christina Jackson.
Hey,
what's
Christina,
up,
how you doing? Who is that? James Roberts. I seen that name. I can read that. I can kind of make out the signals far away. But like I say, she's got that mother, patriot, conservative eagle eye, and that's why we're going to talk about this budget today. Oh my God! But anyway, thank you guys for chiming in. We're going to get going with this show. Eddie,
that's my hubby. Hey,
hubby. What's up, man? Thank you for allowing Lita to come to the studio today. Appreciate you guys big time supporters of the show and what we're doing. Hey, this is what's going to happen today. No one in the conservative media, except for one person, is talking about this budget. Sean Hannity, Rush Limbaugh, I don't expect nothing from them but what they're doing. But they got you guys chasing the Hillary Clinton squirrel and uranium and things like this, which will mean a hill of beans to your family's life and functioning like this budget does. Why are they not talking about it? To our good friend who comes on at 12 o'clock today, Shannon Joy's credit, she's going to talk about this budget.
All right.
We're going to talk about this budget. It has to be talked about. Lita Whitener has read every line of the budget. She's going to break down today what is in it, and even more scary, what's not in it. And she's going to do it in only the way Lita Whitener can do. You guys are getting a treat today because, one, you get to see her live in the flesh, and two, I'm not afraid of her eating me up because I'm not in the lioness sight. She can't. I'm good. I'm in a good place. Not because I agree with her. I'm in a good place because I agree with her. This budget is massively destructive to our country. And you're being sold a pig in a poke, but more so you're being distracted away from what's in it.
That's right.
Nobody in Washington is going to be safe today. Nobody's going to be safe. Especially if you're supporting this. So everybody that's got your favorite politician and your favorite excuse for your favorite politician, let's be Americans today. And let's understand that we, the people, if I be generous, are possibly being hoodwinked by your favorite politician. That's about as generous as I'm going to be today. I don't know. What do you think? How you doing?
So I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, awesome.
So last night, Phil puts out a post and it intimidated me a little bit because I said I'm in trouble when I go there. Because I'm going in tomorrow and I got no love for Washington. I'm flipping over all the tables in Washington tomorrow.
Okay.
So I was hoping I wouldn't be in trouble with Phil because he put out a really great post last night that should have spoken to everybody's heart. But I ain't got no love for Washington. So
no, it's fine.
So we need to talk about what I've learned from this bill. Reading the bill, 120 pages, 425 amendments with 10 to 15 pages apiece. I learned that it funds Planned Parenthood 100%. It funds DACA. Paul Ryan confirmed that because that was a little iffy because anybody in Washington is going to tell you everything's muddled and everything's a little iffy. When you call your congressman, they're gonna muddle everything up and make it sound all mushy and it's like a stump speech. Okay, and so it funds Obamacare insurance subsidies and essentially every Obama era policy.
Wow.
Into perpetuity. So this could go all the way to 2027, a lot of this. So there's a lot of language in there talking about 2019 and beyond.
Wow.
It does not fund a border wall. So all the talk about the border wall, so forth, It doesn't. But it's important that we summarize the process because people need to understand how the process of the government spending the money they steal from you works. Because that's what they do. They steal the money from you because I don't get a say in how much money they take. Do you? Do you?
Hey, before we go there, let's just feel. Why is it important to know? And I already know the answer to this, so it's rhetorical. But why is it important to know that this thing still funds Planned Parenthood, still funds DACA, still funds all these things? Why is it important to know that it's still doing this?
Well, I mean, as a conservative, I want to know where my money's going. And we're electing these politicians to go in and undo these things and not fund them. So that's why it's important for me to know. I want to know, I'm a conservative. I want to know where every single penny of the money they're stealing from me is going. I'm tracking that stuff down like a hawk. I want to know, my kids need new shoes. I want to know where their money is going for my kids' new shoes, and I'm going to track it down. I'm going to find out where it's going. Yeah. And you're going to be surprised to know your money's going to exactly the same places it was during the Obama administration.
So the interesting thing is that you gave your money to these politicians to go there to stop giving your money to the things that's killing 3,000 children a day, to the DACA program that's basically a pathway to amnesty or just some kind of crazy ridiculous.
5 million illegal
you see what I'm saying?
Immigrants are getting amnesty under DACA.
So you paid your money for them to go undo these things, these undue burdens and stresses on our economy as persons, as people, our economy as a nation. And you're saying that you paid for them to screw you?
Exactly.
You paid
no,
for
we
it.
didn't pay it. They stole it from us.
They stole it from you. Right.
We're not paying them. I don't get to decide how much money the government takes from me,
Wow.
do you?
No, I
No.
don't.
I don't get a say in it. They're just going to take whatever they want to take.
Wow.
So
amazing.
So you want to know where that money's going, and you're going to be surprised to know that it's going exactly the same place as it was during the Obama administration after you voted in the people that said that it wouldn't go there anymore.
So how's your politician looking to you right now? Oh, let me guess. They're playing 5-dimensional chess right now, and we're just a bunch of emotional conservatives that just don't understand how the process works. Okay.
Okay, well, let's explain the process.
Let's talk about
I'd like
the process.
to do that.
Let's talk about the process.
Okay, so it's important that we summarize the process by which the government spends the money they steal from us, because a lot of people don't understand where the buck stops. So I'm going to explain that to you. The process begins with the President of the United States of America. Think of the budget as like a house with all outer walls, the roof, and the floor, okay? The President is the architect of that house, and he submits a request to Congress, and the submission is constructed based off of his agenda. So he designs an idea, or as an architect would, and he goes to Congress and he says, okay, build it. Okay, so Congress, the President submits his request to Congress, and that's his plan based off of his agenda. Okay, so all of you people that say that Congress is not supporting the President, Congress needs to do their job, Congress needs to do this, Congress needs to do that. Well, Congress is supporting the President. That is the problem. They're abandoning principle to support this President's agenda. So you've got it backwards, essentially. Wow. Okay, so Congress then builds the House. And through the appropriations process, they go and they fatten it up with pork, a spending bill. What they're trying to do is design a spending bill so at the end of the day they can authorize the funds to be released to all of these departments, all of these sub-agencies, Planned Parenthood, all the rest. So they go in and they fatten it up with all the pork they want to, and at the end of the day they have a spending bill. And that spending bill then goes and it gets passed or whatever. Now, it's important to note that right now the Republican Congress in Washington wants you to think that this budget that just passed doesn't matter. They want you to think that it's just a vehicle so that they can pass this great tax reform bill. Okay,
wow.
That is not true. The budget matters very, very much so. In fact, in my house, if I don't have a budget, we just have money floating around, doesn't get spent where it needs to be spent. And if you do that in Washington, if you got money just floating around, you're going to have some slimy politician walk around, pull it out of thin air, and line their pocket with it. And that's the truth, and we know that.
Wow. So
there has to be a budget. The budget's very important because it sets the precedent for how the money is spent and how each department or sub-department or agency or sub-agency is funded. So, so they want you to believe that it's just a vehicle to pass this tax reform bill.
Wow.
So as part of it, as part of the call to action that actually Shannon Joy initiated. Thank you, Shannon. I think she's watching. I saw her earlier. As part of a call to action that she initiated, we were asked through United for Freedom, because we are a grassroots activist organization, and we try and contact our representatives whenever they're doing things like this. We want them to hear from us. So we're loud. We're very loud. So we're contacting our congressmen, and the mantra that the stump speech that they're going by for us is that, well, we know this bill isn't perfect, but why isn't it perfect? We have given Republicans every single branch of Congress. Every branch.
Every single one.
Why is this bill anything less than perfect? Why?
Wow.
Who are you conceding to? They said we had to make some concessions. Well, to who? Because Republicans control every branch of Washington, every branch of government.
You know, my good friend Ken Thompson, he put out a response inside of a post that you put up. And it was just brilliant. And he's going back and forth with this Cruz supporter. And I'm not trying to make this thing about Cruz and single him out, but the interaction was just priceless. And I'm paraphrasing a lot of it, but his reaction was, and the reason why this holds so much water to me, and unfortunately for you Cruz supporters, this is where you guys keep messing up. You got to keep your guy in Texas. You got to take him off the national stage like he's representing all of us, and you got to keep him in Texas. And this is what makes Ken Thompson's response so priceless, because Ken Thompson lives in Texas. He is the one that directly impacts, he's one of the ones that directly impacts if Ted Cruz gets reelected or not. Take Ted Cruz off of running for president right now and put him in Texas. But now what Ken's response is this. I gave money to Ted Cruz, I supported Ted Cruz, and I voted for Ted Cruz not to go compromise. I didn't vote for him to go in there and give up his principles for the sake of getting along. And I'm paraphrasing, you got to see the thing, and I'll put it up later so you can see it. But what Ken Thompson was saying is that, the same thing that Lita's saying right now. As conservatives, we didn't send you to Washington to figure out a way to compromise. We sent you to Washington to push our conservative beliefs and principles, understanding that conservatism is what's going to save this country. Compromising off of conservatism is what's got us in the situation we are now. Sound familiar? We compromise with the other side of the aisle. They get everything they want, promising us we're going to get ours in 10 years, and then we never get ours. This is why we're in trouble.
And it's important to point out, I'm going to stop Phil right there because it's important to point out, there was only one Republican that voted against this bill in the Senate.
One. And because we can disagree with his foreign policy, and we can find a way to disagree with probably how he feels about drugs and marijuana, or because he's a libertarian, we're not understanding that there is one person that is at least standing on the principles when it comes to the budget and how this thing really works. Now, in my opinion, you can't have your cake and eat it too. One, I am the one that's going to sell you that one senator can't change the world. I believe that. So for all you people that believe your one senator can go in there and save the world, wrong. Sorry. Now, according to how Lita just explained it, if your one senator would have became president, he could have presented to America his plan. He could have gave the outline, his architectural drawing of what's good for America. But since he didn't win, he can't save the world. Stop presenting him to the rest of America like he's the savior of the world. He's not running for president. He's just a representative from Texas or the state of your favorite person, Mike Lee, Utah. He's just one person. So knowing all of that, I don't care if he loses. It's not designed for him to win as one. We sent him there to stand as a conservative. Let that conservative get ganged up on by the rest of the ridiculous people in the swamp. Let the swamp monsters gang up on him, and he'll get reelected because he stood against the swamp monsters. Amen. And then he'll inspire the other people that's folding to the swamp monsters, because there's something in here called a heart that says, wow, that guy stood for what he said he stood for, and we're ganging up on him. Then eventually that heart kicks in. But when your excuse is that, well, he had to acquiesce to the swamp monsters in order to keep his seat, that's not what we sent them there for. That's why our country is losing. I'll be here all day. Lita, back to you.
All right. Well, so we're calling Congress, and the mantra, like I said, is the bill isn't perfect, and we had to make concessions.
Can I stop you right there?
Sure.
I want you to go back a little bit, and I want you to replay the conversation you had. Set that up. The conversation when you called the congressperson.
Okay.
And this is priceless. Go ahead. Explain that. Break that down. Okay. You called your Congress guy.
I called my congressman's office. I got a budget person on the phone, and the 4 questions, there are 5 questions rather, that we were asked to ask, and we knew the answer to them. We just wanted to watch them squirm and see how they responded to us. And of course, they built it up, and it was the greatest thing since sliced bread, because it was this vehicle that was going to give us this great tax reform bill that nobody's seen. It hasn't been released to the public. It's great based off of what they're telling us, which they haven't really seen it either.
Sorry about that.
So, and they're lying to you if they say they have. So I called the congressman's office and I asked my 5 questions. Number 1, does it fund Planned Parenthood? Well, that's kind of iffy. I'm going to have to get back with you on that. I'm not real sure. And I said, so you're not sure? My congressman now she's already told me my congressman is going to vote yes on the bill. So I said, so you're not sure if it funds Planned Parenthood? Yes, but I want to assure you that Congressman Ferguson, who is a Republican, is very pro-life. But you don't know if it funds Planned Parenthood. And ultimately, she had to tell me, yes, in fact, it does fund Planned Parenthood, because I held her feet to the fire and got a solid answer, finally. And so I said, does it fund DACA? Well, that's a little muddled. You got the same kind of answer. So you're telling me my congressman is opposed to amnesty, but you're telling me he's going to vote for this bill. Well, it's a little more complicated than that. And that's how they try to trick you. Okay, and then so it funds all of the Obamacare subsidies, insurance subsidies. Well, kind of. Well, there's really not much language. Blah 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 blah. So you're telling me that my congressman wants to repeal every single word of Obamacare, but he's going to vote for this bill? And then, so I asked, does it fund a border wall? Well, no, there's really not any language in there yet. We're hoping for a bill to come later. So you're telling me my congressman supports a border wall, and there's no funding for a border wall? It's a lie. They're lying to you.
So when you bust them out on these things,
I said, don't tell me anymore that my congressman is pro-life if he votes for this bill. Don't tell me anymore that my congressman opposes amnesty. Don't tell me anymore that my congressman wants to repeal every single word of Obamacare. Don't tell me anymore that my congressman is a conservative, limited government conservative who wants to cut the debt and deficit. Don't tell me that, because this budget does none of that. And he voted for it. So you can't tell me that anymore, because right then, I don't believe you anymore. Because if they were, they wouldn't be voting for this. Period.
And this is what principles are. Stand on principles. Don't fold because, first of all, I think it's asinine for us to say, go to Congress to get along. Me personally, I don't want you to get along with a liberal. If that's the value system that you want to promote is liberalism, knowing what our founding escaped slaves, people like us, know what liberalism does, create socialism and all these kind of things. I don't want you to compromise with them. I want you to go there and stand against them. More so, I want you to use the power that God has invested in you to show a liberal politician why liberalism is not going to be the thing that America functions under, why it's destructive.
And don't tell us that a tax reform bill is good after you just told me my congressman is going to vote for a bill that funds Planned Parenthood, DACA, Obamacare insurance subsidies, and not fund a border wall, and it's going to increase the debt by $5.5 trillion. Don't tell me that a bill that I haven't seen, has not been released to the public, no part of it, and that they probably haven't seen. Don't try to sell good bill to me, because I'm not buying it.
And guess what else they did?
Show me
this.
the bill.
This is another trick, a classic trick that they did. Now I'm gonna break this trick down. They said, I heard a person responding, well, they put the hurricane relief stuff in there. So Ted Cruz had to do things for hurricane relief.
But that's not even the same bill.
But here's the part. How can you say you support? You're going to pass this thing. It's all muddied up with pork. But at the same time, still funding 3,000 children being murdered in the womb. What lives are more important? I think all lives are important. So you're going to say, okay, as long as hurricane relief gets gone and he's good for that, oh, we can overlook the fact that he's funding killing babies. Come on, people. Either we're for life or we're not. We can walk and chew at the same time. We can stop letting these politicians attach some heartstring thing to something that's going to rip our hearts out. We can do this. It's called principles. It's called principles. If we want a hurricane thing, clean, straight. And guess what? If you don't get the hurricane thing, it's because they tried to make it dirty. That's not our fault. That's not your politician's fault. Let your politician know that you got their principles back. If you lose the hurricane relief on principles, you didn't lose the hurricane relief. What you did is you stopped government being the relief. We can support the hurricane people. We don't need the government's permission to do it. We don't need the government to take our money that we sent there to protect us from enemies, foreign and domestic, to make sure good business people are not doing bad things with products that's killing people, not overregulate them, just make sure that they know that they're being watched. We didn't send our money there for you to ask us to give a donation to hurricane relief, and you take our taxpayer money and the government does hurricane. You're double dipping. So stop falling into the facade that if the government doesn't pass this hurricane relief thing, the American people don't care. No, you don't want the government in hurricane relief. God created us to deal with hurricanes. Stop giving your power away because they can pull the sentimental heartstrings and dangle. Look at the puppies drowning. Look at the people in the water. We, the American people, can deal with that on our own. Stay focused. What is this orange dude giving us an architect? What is he doing? What is this flaming liberal that put an R in front of his name getting you guys to fund? Come on, people, wake up. We'll take care of the hurricane victims. You don't have to send the president down there so he can shoot jump shots with paper towels to Americans that need help. Come on, people.
Well, I want to point out too that we're talking about two entirely separate.
Yeah, I'm conflated, but it's still. I heard the person say, "Well, Ted Cruz, because they attached this to the thing, and so we had to fund this." Okay, so he had to fund killing babies, so they didn't get that part funded.
Exactly.
Come on.
To that point, I concur absolutely.
Okay.
I want to point out another thing about the mantra that Washington is using right now. Capitol Hill and Republican Congress wants you to believe that this was necessary to pass great tax reform that nobody knows is really if it's great or not, but that this is just a vehicle, that the budget doesn't matter, they got to push this through to get this great tax reform. Let me point out 3 reasons why we know that's a lie. Number 1, common sense would tell you that if money is going to be allocated to an agency, they're going to spend every cent of it. So if they're proposing a budget which does just that, it allocates, that eventually will allocate funds to each of these departments, they're not just going to let it sit there without spending it. So everybody's going to get their 2 cents worth. Number 2, there were 425 amendments to the bill. One of the amendments, Rand Paul's amendment, was a balanced budget amendment. So if the budget really doesn't matter, why not give us a balanced budget? Why does it have to blow the caps off the spending limits on every single item? So we're dealing with a $5.5 trillion bill. So you've got limits, you've got your cap, and you've got your spending. So all of this has to be paid for in deficit. So we
and
owe.
Didn't they cut like $100 and something billion out of Medicaid?
$1.5 trillion.
Trillion. Oh, look at that. I lowballed him.
Medicare and Medicaid.
Out of Medicaid, I mean, so all I know is this. I'm not like is chapter and verses Lita. This is why I with Lita, because I don't need to be. I trust her. Not me violating Psalms 118. I put my confidence in the Lord, and I believe that the Lord is loving Lita. So, saying all that, isn't this kind of Obamanistic?
Kinda.
What was the difference? Oh, I'm just making this point with Lita earlier when we was talking. We were apoplectic. Okay, let me break that down. We were besides ourselves when Obama tried to get $800 billion in his budget
for infrastructure spending.
Infrastructure, $800 billion. We had a problem with that. Big problem with that. Politicians were able to run on that big problem we had.
Do you remember Rush? Do you remember Sean?
Oh, Rush, Sean, oh.
The world is
Between my formerly nicotine-stained fingers was, let me tell you something about this budget. And Obama and Clinton's and Sean Hannity, Shucky Ducky, and Mark Levin. Oh my God, Obama's gonna kill us. Obama. I mean, they were just all going ham over $800 billion.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, Orange Julius Caesar comes in, and he doubles that, quadruples that, 6-time flop that thing on the head. I mean, made that thing look like lunch money.
But you know what? Uranium 1's important because it's going to affect your life so
and
much.
And what is Rush and them saying? Hillary Clinton, oh my God, she's giving uranium to the Russians, and oh my God, we got it. Look, right here. Oh my God, I see it. Sean, oh my God, Sean, you agree? Yeah. Oh my God, Herman, where you at? Shucky Ducky. Oh my God, Mark, I can't believe it. Hillary Clinton's not in jail yet. Oh my God. Come on, people. Why aren't these guys as ridiculous against this thing, and it's 5-6 times worse than anything Obama did? Now, let me make this clear. I'm not defending Obama one way, shape, or form. He's a liberal. But what makes this different? I'll tell you what makes it different. This is more dangerous.
Amen.
Obama was the lesser of the evils when it came to a budget. This thing is ridiculous.
And Republicans are in it all the way.
All the way. And then Ted Cruz is getting up there saying, do your jobs. What are you talking about, sir? What job are they supposed to be doing?
Their job is to defend the principles they're not defending.
So are you willing to do your job, Ted? Oh my God, I just seen my friends list drop like 500 people. I don't care. We got a country to save.
Amen.
We got a country to save. Our babies, your babies, man, they deserve better than this. We're being sold a pig in a poke. Obama said, we are days away from fundamentally transforming this country. And what is being shown to us is our conservative fundamentals have been transformed. Our Christian fundamentals have been transformed.
That's right.
How we say we the people has been transformed. The fundamentals. That means the basic things, not complicated things, basic things have been transformed.
And the fact that we're depending on men to tell us how to think, tell us what's right and what's wrong, and we can't use our own discernment to decide that for ourselves is proof. And this budget, to me, was huge because I was waiting to see what the architect, which is Trump, because all this falls back on Trump, was going to do, and how Congress was going to respond to it.
Yeah.
And what it told me is that Congress fully supports this president and his agenda.
Yes.
But they no longer stand on principle. They've abandoned their principle to support this agenda.
And what you're hearing from your politician, I'm going to say Ted Cruz, is he's addressing the thorn in their side. They're addressing, I mean, I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it that I know Flake is a rhino. I know it. But I find myself saying, wow, man, he spoke truth about the president.
You know,
and I'm like, Go ahead, guy. But I'm like, wait a second. He's a rhino.
This is what kills
Why
me.
isn't Ted Cruz saying? No, he's not going to say it. He's already said he's not going to say it. He's already played it. Why isn't Mike Lee saying this? Okay, I know why he's not going to say it, because he's buddied with... Okay, why isn't the people that I thought were all conservatives not saying this?
Well, and not only that, this is what kills me about this bill. And I've told you this before, because Phil and I talk regularly, and I've told you this before. But this is what kills me about the whole Jeff Flake thing, because that, too, is a squirrel. Shannon Joy is right about that.
I agree. It's a squirrel.
However, I do have an opinion. I have an opinion about everything.
Oh, sure.
But... just for the record, it makes me laugh out loud, hysterically, to see a Trump supporter go, who cares what Jeff Flake says? He's a rhino. And I'm like...
Talk about the rhino calling the rhino.
Wait a minute. You're supporting a dude that is 1,300 times more liberal than this dude.
A Republican in name only.
And you got the sack to call him a rhino?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, Trump is a different kind of rhino. He's a Republican in registration only. It was just the registration that made him. And as a matter of fact, we got to come up with a new name. It's not even rhino. It's a rhino. Republican in registration only. He's a rhino. Yeah, Trump is a rhino. He's a Republican in registration only. But the bigger point that I'm making is this. Where are true conservatives with this criticism? Because they support him. We have to go back to the true meaning of conservatism. Not the popularity of a person, not the green eggs and ham conservative stance that they took at one time, not the 23 some odd hours on the conservative at one time, not the heritage 95% conservative score, not that, because we live in a country where 3% of the population has changed the definition of marriage. 97% didn't save marriage. And 3% changed.
Yep. And Joe Eldred just said Flake voted for swamp care. Well, Joe, so did Cruz.
And
so did all the rest of the swamp monsters.
And that's the point that we're making now.
They're all swamp monsters.
I'm going to make a bigger point. Until we deal with this incumbency, we're done. You have been fundamentally transformed into hanging on to the large, big number, while the small number is changing our whole country. It's the small number that's winning. The only place where the small number is not winning is conservatism. We're in the minority of the minorities. Why can't we take a page out of the other minorities that's changing everything about our country? 3% of the population that is gay, homosexual, has changed the definition of marriage. Where's that 97%? Since you guys like to use that thing, my conservative has a 97% voting record. What is the 3% doing? Okay, 97%. The 3%. What did they vote on there? And why? Why can't they have a 100% conservative voting record? Why? What is the 5% if it's 95.5? What is that small percentage number? Ask yourself this question. Is it the little things that'll kill you, or is it the big things that you think you can protect yourself from? It's the little things. This is one thing I know liberalism has. It has the patience of Job. They've been chipping away at this whole thing for 70, 80 years. And what we've been doing with conservatives is going to Washington, reaching across the aisle, and now their little bit is now wiping out everything that we are. And
we should be livid.
Conservatives
should be raging over this budget, because these are the things that impact our lives. Uranium One means squat to me. I don't care if Hillary goes to prison. I don't care if she drops off the face of the earth, to be honest with you.
And you know why she won't go to prison? Because when she's sitting there in trial and there's full disclosure, the prosecuting attorney has to give over what the defense attorney has and all these kind of things. You're going to find out that Donald Trump is sitting right there giving her a boost and holding her up and all these things.
He has way too much money invested in Hillary Clinton.
You're going to see that Donald Trump and Soros is the same, and everybody that you think is different is the same. You're going to see these things, and you're going to see. So she'll never be prosecuted. And what all Sean and Rush is doing is letting you people know that you're stupid. That you'll give away your children's future. You will not look at this budget like Lita and Shannon Joy is doing. You are not talking about this thing. You are explaining your politician away. And they threw you a Hillary Clinton bone.
And anybody who is touting the tax reform as great, you haven't read it. And probably your congressman and your senator hadn't read it either. So before you think it's great, let me remind everybody that nobody's seen it. Nobody's read it. We don't know what it is yet. So until it comes out and we can discern that for ourselves, do not tout this as something great, because just because it has tax reform doesn't mean it reforms anything. It doesn't mean it's great.
Hey guys, I got somebody knocking on my door. I'm a very busy guy. Hey, I'm on the radio. Give me a second. I'll be right out. Okay. Yeah, but anyway, you guys are used to that. I'm in a busy place. People, I'm a wanted man. Hey. But anyway, but no, everything Lita's... You know what? Give me a second. Just take a seat. I'll be right out in about 5 minutes. Okay. Anyway, back to what we were saying.
Persistent.
Persistent. It must be a Trump supporter. But anyway, I'm sorry. But anyway, people, to me, here's the solution. Here is the solution. Shrink government in your conversation. Get back to understanding the true power that we have. Once we start understanding our power, understanding that government, we don't need government's permission to help each other. We don't. If your goal is to help somebody and get something back in return, other than love and the satisfaction that God is proud of you and Jesus is saying, that a boy, that a girl. If you're looking for something like a tax write-off or something like this, then I can understand why government is going to stay in your thought process. Because that's what government does, is they offer a return on your charity. If you be charitable in your giving, the government will give it back to you.
And essentially, because we talked about this earlier,
Yes.
and this is an important point to make right now. Essentially, what Trump is doing, and most of you will probably agree, some of you may not, but what Phil and I have discovered he does is he knows what his base likes to hear, and I know because I'm a Tea Party conservative. So when he says these things, it sounds fantastic. It's what every Tea Party conservative wants to hear. But what he actually does is exactly what Obama would do every single time. So he knows what we want to hear, and he says it, and then pulls back and does exactly what Obama would do. So it's a trick. It's a little dangling the red meat for the base, and then land on the left every single time.
And you know, and that's what I'm saying. We the people, man. Do you understand how powerful we are? I mean, this thing is, yes, Lita and I, we talk about government. But the thing we talk about the most is, this is what government's doing. How do we get them out of our lives? I guarantee you 90% of every true conservative out there feels the same way. How do we get government out of our lives? First, get them out of your mouth. Second, get government out of your decision making. Take government out, put God in. Both starts with a G. Matter of fact, both gives you 2 letters up. Both start with a G-O. Go away from government and go more to God. And watch how we get blessed. We're a blessed country. We're blessed people. Shrink government in your conversation. Shrink government in your protect your neighbor. Protect the Constitution. Protect the things that establish our freedom. Protect our Bibles.
Melissa Smith says, I don't feel powerful right now, Phil. Well, neither did the 3% that started it all.
Come on. We're very powerful. I'm telling you, you change how you feel. Ask yourself this. Why haven't you went down the street and helped the neighbor that you seen needed help? Because you said, I'm going to elect this politician to go down the street and help my neighbor. Because that's what he said. If you elect me, that's what he or she said. If you elect me, I'm going to help your neighbors. Yeah. I need to elect them. No, I'm saying I'm helping my neighbors. Who is going to go to Washington and make sure I can continue to help my neighbors? Because that's what the liberals want me to stop doing. The liberals don't want me to help my neighbor. The liberal wants my neighbor to need help so the government can come in and help him. Who is going to go to Washington and protect me from the liberals putting regulations on me helping my neighbors? I'm not trying to kill my neighbor. I'm going to help my neighbor. And then my neighbor's going to go help the next neighbor. And then together we're going to go help some other neighbors. And then we're going to go help and help. And then we're going to build a country based on we the people, not them the government. We have become lazy.
Boots on the ground. Kristen Hill Jackson says, we the people are boots on the ground.
We'll never...
Right, sister?
The reason why a third party will never work, because we need to create a viable second party. There's only one party. There's only one party. See, you're going from one party trying to jump to third. It's not making sense. Show that there's one party and we just need to have a second party. That's why third parties don't work. There needs to be a second party. And that second party really needs to become the first party. The We the People party. That's who needs to show up. We the people. They think you're going to show up to their thing because of their cool thumb speech. They think you're going to show up to the rally because they crafted a message with consultants and things of this nature. And if you say this, the crowd will go, and if you say this, the crowd will go, boo. No, we're showing up to show you that we're showing up. It's we the people. We're the viable first party. You guys are the second party. And until you acquiesce to our party, you're not party to our vote.
Well, the Republican Party is not the party that you think it is anymore.
It's not.
Or
No.
a lot of people think it is. You know, it's funny because I wonder how many Trump supporters are going, yeah, the Republicans rock, while they're funding Planned Parenthood.
Come on,
while
man.
they're funding DACA, and while they're funding Obamacare insurance subsidies. Really? What do they represent anymore? Because they certainly don't represent conservatism anymore.
And if I was to be even, let's take it from conservatism because that gives a nasty name. It's been watered down. Your talk show sellouts have now just jacked the whole thing up. They brought the bar down so freaking low that even conservative talk show hosts call Donald Trump conservative. It's amazing to hear it. There's nothing more funny than to watch CNN and watch CNN say conservative Donald Trump. And those liberals know that he's not conservative. This is how much we've been rebranded and just. But anyway, try this. Do you want to be free or not? Mr. Liberal voter, not politician, liberal voter, do you feel free? And if they say yes, then say, what do you feel free to do? If 80% of their answers is I get free groceries, free electricity, free housing, then you say, how does that make you free? See, you're only free when you know that there's not somebody going to knock at the door to say, time to pay. You know you're free when somebody's not going to knock at the door and say, get out. Your freebies are over. A liberal voter is ready to hear this conversation. They've been ready under Obama. We just blew it because they put the Hillary Clinton shiny object up there. The liberal voter is waiting for us free-loving people to show them, because they already feel it, that they're not free. Christ and conservatism has the ability to do that. But can you do it without saying Christ and conservatism? This is what I'm telling you, people. We can get our country back in short order if you stop defending a politician and start friending another American. We can get this thing back in short order. 2018's done. Where will we the people be in 2018? That's the question we need to ask. 2020, if we the people is not where we need to be in 2018, 2020's done too. Mm-hmm. Where's we the people going to be in 2020 if we don't take advantage of we the people for 2018? Mm-hmm. Last little thing, and I'm going to let Lita have the last word. I feel like Bill O'Reilly right then, but I'm not going to rope her. But anyway. Sorry. Yeah, I know you will. And Mr. Eddie, I'm not. Trust me. It was a joke. It was a joke. But anyway. Do you believe we're different? Do you believe God made us different? If you do, then ask yourself this. Why do you have a problem with differences? If we're different, isn't our differences part of being different? Don't let the devil trick you and say that you're all supposed to be the same. And the person that's not the same as you needs to be beat up. It's just a different opinion. It's just a different opinion that comes from the fact we're different. We can look at the same exact bill and get 50 different things out of it. But if you look at that bill and look at it from a freedom standpoint, you will look at that very same bill and says, I don't see where this is giving us more freedom. I can see where this is giving us more government, which costs us. It's not free. I hope that's making sense. Read everything to see how much more freedom you obtain. And also how much freedom is taking away from somebody else. Now, if people are not functioning, like they're running around robbing people, stealing people, that's what we have jails for. That's what we have a legal system for. Because you do not deserve to have the freedom to run around and take people's stuff.
Burn cities down.
That's not what freedom means. The freedom to destroy somebody else's property because you disagree. That's not what freedom means. Freedom of speech is one thing. But freedom to destroy something is something totally different. That's what the legal system is for. So if it's taking away a freedom, see if it's taking away the freedom of somebody who is using their freedom that's not in the right way. But if, like the gun laws and the free speech laws and things like this, those things take away the freedom of people who is doing it right. They don't take away the freedom of the ones who's doing it wrong. Just remember that. We're different for a reason. And it's okay to have a different opinion. But read everything to see where it's taking away or where it's taking away the freedom from. And most likely you will see, matter of fact, you will see in this bill, if you take the time to read it, that it's taking away your freedom and your children's freedom. And you are the ones that's doing it right. Hey, I'm Phil Williams. Last word, dude.
First, thank you for letting me come in and
got to do it more.
Yeah.
Hey,
absolutely.
If you guys agree that Lita and Phil should have a talk show together that's a little bit more substantial than this, put it in there. Write it in the comments and tell us that we should have a talk show. I think we should have a show. I personally do.
Hey, I'm all in. I'll be flipping tables every day if you want me to.
Hey.
I mean, I got that in me. I brought a Red Bull with me this morning. I called Phil. I said, Phil, we're in trouble. I said, I just stopped by the store and I got a Red Bull, and I'm angry.
And I said, anything less than that, man, the people will be disappointed. But anyway, I know I talked a lot. It's my show. I could kind of do that a little bit. But I'm going to give the last word to Lita. Matter of fact, last word. I'm not going to give the last word. Yeah, because I want Lita to have the last word. Donate to Always Positive tablets and teddy bears. Little Jimmy's program where he's giving brand new computer tablets and teddy bears to people, the young people that need a hand up in their education. Great
cause.
And I'm telling you, it's awesome. It's definitely come from on high, and it's very, very easy participation. You go to littlejimmydjpaz.jimdo.com and you can make a tax deductible donation, or you can make an investment into positivity. Every little bit counts. And United for Freedom, Lita, Christian Conservative holding a government Trump accountable.
I'm not sure.
I forgot the name of it.
It's Janice Barlow.
Janice Barlow's group and Conservative Compass. They're groups that put forward that if you don't National Compass. So thank you, National Compass and Christian Conservatives holding Trump accountable to God.
That's it,
or something like that. Those groups, if you make a donation of $50 or more, you get a free T-shirt in the name of United for Freedom. In the name of their groups. If your group would like to be a part of that, please message me and let's talk and let's set it up and things like this. And let's help conservatism and morals and values spread. This is something we can do. We don't have to have the government's permission. And we can use the things that is set in place, that if you like to make a contribution to where you like to write it off in your taxes for the end of the year, you can do so. It's legal, it's ethical, it's moral. Let's use what's in place to get to a better place that we need to get. Support Little Jimmy's Always Positive tablets and teddy bears. Again, the website is LilJimmyDJPoz.Jimdo.com. LILJIMMY DJPOZ.JIMDO.com. You can make a tax-deductible donation there. And saying all that, Lita Whitener, again, thank you for being on the show. You have all the last word.
Okay. Thank you for having me. Thanks, guys, for tuning in and watching us. And this is going back to what Melissa Smith said earlier about feeling helpless. And I understand that because we all do. We all feel helpless, but know there are things that we can do. Join an activist group. Help out with the bottom-up fight against this government because we are struggling. The struggle is real. We have a situation where we have a Republican-held Congress, and the Republicans are working against us, and we're conservatives, and they're under the guise of conservatism, our principles. So we're fighting for that. So we have to continue to do that. And how do we do it is anybody's guess, but we just jump in wherever we can. We contact our Congress. We do whatever we can to make a difference. United for Freedom is fighting for several different things right now. We have HR 3999, I believe, which is the bump stock legislation. We've got that in the works. We've got some other gun legislation out there. We're fighting it. Stay informed. Make sure that you understand when this tax reform bill comes out. Jump on it. Make sure that you understand what is actually in the bill. Don't take somebody's word for it because they're not telling you the truth. They're lying to you.
Yes,
it's not, this budget, there was nothing good about it. If anybody said it was, if you're a conservative, they were flat wrong. There's not one single good thing about this budget from a conservative standpoint. They're doing great things for the liberals, not so much for us. So stay informed. United for Freedom is on watching Congress very closely. We're on top of it. We're watching them. We've got great folks over there. Joe Eldred, he's here. He's there. Willie Glenn. Hey, Willie.
Hey.
He's here. You guys are fantastic. Stella. There's Stella. Hey, Stella. Love
Stella!
you.
Stella!
And and these people are fighting over there with us, and we're together. We're working to try and make a difference. So stay informed. Stay on top of things and know the truth. Know what's really happening because they're going to tell you a lot of things, but doesn't mean it's true.
It doesn't mean it's true. Hey guys, if you're tired of being hoodwinked and bamboozled, start with we the people.
Amen.
Not them, the government. Principles over personalities, people. You're a principled person and you know it. Please do not function fundamentally transformed like you're not. Hey, I love you guys. Thank you for joining in. I know it's long.
Love you.
Please contribute any mistakes to our mind and not our heart. And remember, we may have come here on two separate ships, but we're all in the same boat now. And it takes both the black and white keys on the piano to play the Star Spangled Banner. So peace, love, together, forever. Don't worry, be happy, and feel that energy. And remember, what you are is God's gift to you. What you do with yourself is your gift to God.
Amen.
Only one life will be passed, but only what's done while you're here will last. We were blessed before we had color. So engage your mind and answer one question. Are you ready to keep your freedom? Hey, I'm Phil Williams.
I'm Lita
Love you
Whitener.
guys. Talk to you later.
Bye.